Hey, everybody. Hey, Jane, thanks for joining. Today is lesson one of our digital marketing boot camp, Clicks to Customers. And I'm really excited. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I'm really excited for what I have to share with you today. But before we begin, I just want to recap real quick. I don't know if for those of you who saw, I did a pre-lesson last week. If you didn't get a chance to see that, just go into the members area and check it out. It's under the pre-week. You can click on there. There's a short video just kind of giving you an overview of what to expect. And one of the things I talked about in there is as well is what is your time worth? And so it's a good little exercise to do about your business, help you think about what your position is in your business, and is what you're doing going to make you more money and help scale your business, or is it just stuff that you're doing that's wasting time and not helping your business grow? And so a couple of things I talk about in there is just the idea of understanding what you're really good at and what things that you can either automate or what things that you can delegate out to other sources to do. And some of those sources I gave out was Fiverr.com and Upwork. You can hire professionals to do things for your business, and specifically talking about marketing, for your marketing that they could do for you that you're not really strong at. And just to stay focused at your strengths and scaling and growing your business. And so I did a lesson just to kind of talk about that. There's a little worksheet that you can go through to help you think through what is it that you're doing and is it scaling your business. With this marketing, everything that I'm going to teach you over the next 6 weeks, I don't expect you to do all of these things yourself. It's a lot of time. And I'm asking already a lot of your time to watch these videos and get the idea of how to build a automated marketing campaign. And so there's a lot of work there, and it's going to take a lot of time, but this is going to be upfront time. So I know that there's going to be things that you can outsource or hire other people to do, and other things that you can automate so that it will free up your time to do what's more important. So those are some of the things that I talk about there in that first pre-lesson, and some more. It's not super long, but I would encourage you to go take a look at it even after this lesson. Excuse me. Then you can kind of go ahead and take a look and watch it. Now, today what I want to do is lesson one. Lesson one is how to build a huge distribution list of qualified leads. So the thing I want you to understand is this first lesson right here is the foundation of your marketing plan. This is foundational to everything that you do as a business. If you are not growing a distribution list, or in other words, a lead list of qualified leads, if you are not growing that, then you are hurting your business. All the best businesses who are scaling out there are building huge lead lists. And that is what you need to start doing if you're not doing it yet. If you are doing it, make sure I want to teach you how you can do it right and do it more effectively. So one of the things I mentioned on here is qualified lead. And I just want to mention that real quick. Qualified lead, what I mean by that is that not all leads are created equal. I could right now, I could create a campaign that would get me thousands and thousands and thousands of leads overnight. It would be super easy. But most of those leads would not be a qualified lead. I could say, hey, I'm giving a winner a free vacation, 3-day vacation to Hawaii, plus plane tickets and everything. If you sign up, everybody who signs up will become a lead. But if they don't care about my product or service, all those leads, it doesn't matter. Those are not good leads. And a lot of businesses who are trying to do this, a lot of agencies and a lot of different marketing groups who are trying to do this, they are not doing that. They're trying to do stuff like this, and they're just getting weak leads. You see this all the time in the insurance agencies where they'll buy leads off this list and they'll try to work those leads. My wife works in insurance, and all the time, none of them were good. They were weak leads. So in order to get leads, it's not just about getting leads, it's about getting qualified leads. The second thing I want to mention on this, going through all of these lessons over the next 6 weeks, is that this marketing system that I'm going to teach you is both an art and a science to it. I'm going to really, really focus on the science to this. So what I mean, just like in science, when you do an experiment, you learn how it works. You do A, you combine A with B, and C happens. This is the outcome, right? And you test it, and you find out if I do this and do this, this happens every single time. This is the science of this. You place your marketing into this system, and you will get a strong result every single time. But there's also a portion of this that is the art of it. And that means that every single business is different. You have different things that you want to sell, different services, different products, different ways to do it. So the art of it is the creative part. You have to be very creative on what you put into the system. And once you put that in the system, it'll work. So as we go through this, I'll give you some examples of what I mean between the art and the science, because it's very easy to look at this, and a lot of businesses do at first. They look at this and they say, oh, that's great. I can see how that would work for such and such business, but this won't work for my business. It will work for your business. This works for every single business out there, but there's an art to it, and you have to be creative of how we're going to do that. And I'll share with you a little bit what I mean a little bit later on. But I want to dive into this. So how to build a huge distribution list of qualified leads. All right. Oh. Let me get out of this. All right. So first thing, number one, I think it's really important to understand this. Why is a list so important? I've had a lot of customers ask me that. Why do I need a list? People are coming into my business every single day. Do I really need one? Yes, you need a list, and you need to build that list. And let me share with you why. All right. Why is a list so important? Number one, let me move this over here so you can see that. All right. So number one, the first thing, it turns traffic that you control into traffic that you own. And when I talk about traffic, I'm just talking about people that you're finding online. You're guiding that traffic. You're controlling that traffic to you, and you're turning that traffic that you control into traffic that you own. And so many businesses out there today are not doing this. So I want you to understand that there is 3 types of traffic. The first type of traffic is traffic that you don't control. This is free or organic traffic. I'm not super worried about this traffic because this is just traffic that's going to come to you no matter what. This is somebody getting online and just typing in a genuine product or service that you offer, and they find you through that. They find your website or whatever through that. Or this is word of mouth. Somebody tells them about you, and then they come to you. This traffic is going to happen. Everybody's going to get a certain amount of free traffic regardless. Sometimes it's simply as simple as just driving by your place of business and they see you like, oh yeah, I should stop in. So everybody is going to get some free traffic. Some get more than others. But I don't really too much worry about traffic that you don't control, but you can make this much more effective with this system. The second type of traffic is traffic that you control. So this is obviously, like it says, paid advertising. This is when you go out there and you buy digital ads, or you buy TV, or you buy radio, or even billboards, or whatever that is. That's paid traffic. You are controlling that traffic to one of 2 places, right? You're controlling it either to your website, which is 99% of the time, or you're trying to control it to your place of business. I will take a side note here. If you are controlling traffic, if you are running ads and you're trying to get them from ad to your place of business, I want you to understand that's very, very, very difficult to do. Going from 0 to 100 right away, it's going to take a lot of marketing dollars with very little to no results, because you're asking people to spend time and money on you. And if they don't know, like, or trust you yet, it's a very, very difficult thing to do. Most of what we do is we send traffic that we control to our website. And so that's paid advertising. So the goal here is to take traffic that we can control, and what we want to do is we want to send them, we want to take traffic that we don't control, traffic that we do control, and we want to turn it into traffic that we own. And that is how we do that is simply by collecting their information. And I know you guys have probably seen this before. Some of you may have even tried something like this before. And this is where I get down to the right way and the wrong way to do it. But it's simply this. We want to collect their information. At the very least, we want to get their name or their email. All right. Other than that, we want to get their number so we can text them. We can get their address if we want to send them mailers, however much information we want to send them. But we want to collect their information. Something I want you guys to understand. Your list is the one true asset that you can truly own in your business. And this is very important to understand. This is why it's so important to have this list. Because think about it, your content can get knocked off. Your technology can be better and be changed. Search engine rankings can go away. I mean, Google changes the algorithm, the search engine, every single day, it seems like. It's always changing. You never know where you're going to rank. You cannot trust SEO. It changes all the time. And so you never know, right? Facebook or social media can change rules and you can lose all of your followers. Facebook this past year, or it might have even been last year, they changed the rules to their algorithm. And so people who have all these followers, if you have 2,000 or 3,000 followers, or even tons of followers, and you send out a post, only 2% of your followers are going to see your post now. It's always changing. I was meeting with a company, about 3 or 4 months ago, and when I was talking to them about this, I was sharing building a list with them and how it works. And he looked at me and he goes, "I'm already doing this on Facebook. I'm getting followers every single week on Facebook, so I'm doing just fine." And what I told him is that is not traffic that they own. I mean, Facebook could go out of business overnight. You never know what's going to happen with any social media. It could turn around, or it could change its rules overnight, and then you lose all your followers. Those followers are traffic that Facebook owns. Those are followers, subscribers on YouTube channels, right? Those are YouTube, and Google owns that traffic. You don't own it. That's why you have to collect those names and numbers, because as I said at the bottom here, no one can take your list away. So the bigger you grow that list, the bigger you can grow your company. And so it's important to keep that list. I can't stress that enough. And if you're not doing it, we need to start doing it. And that's what I want to share with you today is how to do it. If you are doing it, I'm going to show you how to do it the right way to be more effective. So you're not just getting any leads, you're getting qualified leads. All right, so let's go back. The second thing of why it's important, it builds a relationship with your customers. You have an opportunity now through text messages, through Messenger, through emails, through phone calls, even if you want. You have the ability to build a rapport and build a relationship with your customers. Now, this can look different ways. So this is the art behind what I'm talking about. Is depending on your business, you might want to build this relationship in different ways. If you're like a boutique and you're selling clothing or something and special items, you may be building that relationship by simply sending out emails and information of special deals and offers that you have and new products that you've got come in to your fans already, the people who are following, who've already know, like, and trust you, to your list, right? So you could send different emails. I was just talking with a friend of mine today, and I can't remember the name of the company, but he had bought something from this company that sells different types of clothes and hats and accessories and stuff like that. And he's always getting these emails from them, and they're already pretty funny. And they just make special offers all the time. And the person who does it always tries to keep it really, really funny. And one offer he was just showing me is that they were offering a mystery box piñata. And they had this big piñata with a box in the middle, and you can buy it and get some mystery item from them. Our guess is that they had a bunch of extra inventory on something, so they decided to have fun and figure out a way to sell it. But he can go to his list, and I guarantee you, he has thousands and thousands of people on his list. When he sent that out, he had a percentage that bought it. So you can build your relationship by telling them about deals and special offers and new items. But maybe you're a chiropractor or a physical therapist or a dentist or something like that. You might want to come at a different angle. You may want to share information, or if you're a real estate agent or insurance agent, you might want to share valuable information and continue to go out there and say, hey, how to start a strong savings plan, how to build wealth, or whatever it is. Or if you are a physical therapist, how to help the symptoms of sciatica, or how to reduce the joint pain without having to take drugs, something like that. You could teach them something and continue to build that relationship and continue to talk to them and grow with them. So that's why it's important. You have that opportunity to do that. When you don't have a list, you have no way of communicating with people other than having to pay for ads or getting lucky that they find you organically. And even then, they don't get very many messages. The last part is it is your license to print money, okay? And with a list, you can overcome nearly any setback. So if you do, like the business owner I talked to a couple months ago, what if something happens, he's got all these followers on Facebook, and then Facebook shuts down, or there's some kind of law that's passed and no longer can you communicate anybody who's a follower? What is that business going to happen? That business has got to start all over again and try to reach his customers once again. Or what if something horrible happens to your brick and mortar business and maybe it burns down and you lose everything overnight? What are you going to do? If you don't have a list, you are in more trouble, because even if you get that opened up again, you've got to go out and reach out to all your customers. You got to pay for all this ads and try to bring everybody back. But if you have a list and your Facebook goes down, all you have to do is go to your list and continue to communicate with them through the list, telling them about sales, offers, deals, whatever value you can bring to them. If your business burns down in a couple months, when you build it back and your insurance kicks in and you get your business up and going, you can send out a list and say, hey, we've got a special offer for grand opening. Everybody come in, and we're bringing in food and beer and everything, and you can come in and we have the special offer for you. And right away, you're going to start making money back right off the bat. You can overcome nearly any setback when you have a good list of people. So I hope that what I'm telling you is getting through. It's important to build a list of qualified leads for your business. So how do we do that? Let's move up. All right, we are going to do that, and there's two ways I want to talk about today. Number one, it is finding your dream customer or client, really understanding who that person is. And number two, creating the Godfather offer. Now, it doesn't matter which way you do this, but you need to do both of these things to start building your lead list. So let's start. I want to start with finding your dream customer or client. All right, so I have a quick video here that I want to play. This is John Dumas. He has a podcast called Entrepreneurs on Fire. And in here, he's in a conference with other aspiring podcasters, and he's telling them how they find their clients. And so he's talking to them about how to find clients to join their podcast, but this also relates to any business who are trying to find customers to come to their business. So I'm going to play this real quick. It's about 5 minutes long, and I just want to share it with you. So here, let me play it.
What's up, everybody? It's Russell.
Oh, sorry. Let's try that again.
Welcome to the Marketing Secrets Podcast. Today, taking behind the scenes of our recent affiliate.
There you go.
Customer, that is the secret. So I'm sure that right now.
So who's your perfect listener?
Our perfect listener would be a business owner or an entrepreneur or a real estate investor.
So that's really big. Like, perfect listener should just be that one individual that like you would see as like the perfect ideal client. Because once you've kind of made that step and that decision as a podcast host, everything changes. So like for me, when I was trying to figure out like what I wanted Entrepreneur on Fire to be, I was overwhelmed because it was really hard for me to kind of find what that path that I wanted to take my listeners on. And when I really sat down and said, okay, my listener my avatar is Jimmy. He's 37 years old. He has a wife and 2 kids, ages 3 and 5. He drives by himself to work every single day. It's a 25-minute commute to work. He gets to a cubicle at a job he hates for 9 hours. Gets done with his job, drives home, it's a 35-minute commute home. He gets stuck in a little bit of traffic. Gets home, he hangs out with his kids, has dinner with his family, puts his kids to bed, hangs out with his wife. And then he has a little Jimmy pity party at the end of every single night because he's sitting on the couch saying, why do I spend 90% of my waking hours doing things I don't enjoy doing? Commuting to a job I don't like, being at a job I don't like, commuting home, and only 10% of my waking hours doing things that I love, like spending time with my kids and my family. And Jimmy is my avatar. Like, he's the person that as he's driving to work should be listening to Entrepreneur on Fire, so that when my guest is sharing their worst entrepreneurial moments, he can understand that it's okay to fail, and like that you can learn lessons from failure. And that when he's driving home and my guest talks about their aha moment, he can talk about how you take an aha moment and turn it into success. And then instead of having that pity party at night, by himself on a couch, he can listen to the lightning round where my guest is sharing their best advice they've ever had, their favorite book, their favorite resource. And so he can start to put together the pieces of the puzzle. So for me now, whenever I come up to any question I have about the direction of my podcast, I go to my avatar and I say WWJD, like what would Jimmy do? And like I know from that one answer, like that's the way that I gotta go. So if you sit down and you really say, hey, this is the one perfect listener of my podcast, then you're going to know that person inside out. You're going to know where that person hangs out, what Facebook groups they're in, what LinkedIn groups they're in, like how to advertise to them, like what lead magnet is going to be appealing to them on Facebook that's going to get them to download it and be able to be promoted to your show. And again, this is your ideal, perfect client. Like you can probably picture right now this person that whenever he sits down in front of you, you're just like, dude, you're like my favorite client. And he's like, I know, I'm your favorite client. Like that's the person that like you want to be drawing in. So like if you sit down and really just figure out who your perfect one ideal listener is, everything changes from that point forward. And all the decisions you make are based off of that. So every piece of content you make for your podcast is speaking to that avatar, that one person. Every call to action you give, and every intro and every call to action and every outro is for a specific purpose. So for instance, in my podcast, Entrepreneur on Fire, you'll hear me, I have 7 rotating calls to action on my intros and outros. One's going to say, hey, this is John Lee Dumas of Entrepreneur on Fire, where I interview the world's most successful entrepreneurs 7 days a week. By the way, if you're struggling with a goal right now, you should check out the Freedom Journal because I teach you how to accomplish your #1 goal in 100 days. So visit thefreedomjournal.com, and that will be one call to action that will bring people down one specific funnel that will result in them purchasing my journal, the Freedom Journal, for $39. And then I have the call to action, my outro that says, hey guys, hope you enjoyed the chat with Russell today. He rocked the mic as always. Oh, by the way, if you're thinking about creating your own course, your own podcast, I have a free course called Free Podcast Course that will teach you how to create, grow, and monetize your own podcast in 15 days. And so then they'll go to that URL, they'll sign up for the free podcasting course, which will lead them to my free masterclass, which I do every 2 weeks, which is live. And then that masterclass will lead to me pitching them Podcasters Paradise, which is what we have for our premium podcasting community. So every single call to action I have is for Jimmy to take them into one of my 7 or 8 functioning funnels that I have to result in some kind of revenue being generated at the end. So I think that the steps you can and should take is really nail your avatar, understand who that person is as an individual, and then start creating 1, 2, 3 calls to action that you're using in your intros, in your outros, that are getting them into the beginning part of a funnel that's going to result in your ideal action, which might be a phone call, which might be, whatever that, investing their first dollar with your company, whatever that result is. So that's the funnel you're taking them in. Does that make sense?
So that is, I really like that because what he talks about, I want you to notice how specific he got with his what he called his avatar, right? His dream customer. He knew who this person is. So when he creates a message, he knows exactly who he's talking to and exactly how to reach that person. So we live in a society today that is so bombarded with ads. You know it. I know you know it. Any of you guys who've done marketing, you understand it is hard to get the attention of people because they see a ridiculous amount of ads every single day. 30 or 40 years ago, it was easy because you had one of 3 platforms, right? You had TV, radio, or print. That's it. People were not bombarded like they are today. So you could create a general message for a mass audience and try to reach as many people as you can. It doesn't work like that today. You have to create a very specific message to a very specific person. And a lot of businesses that I talk to were scared of this. They're scared they're going to lose business because they're getting so specific or so niche. But actually the opposite is true. They actually find more customers. Just like in the video there, he said, the first guy said, oh, hey, my customer is 35 to 55. He's male. He's got a household income of 75,000. It's too generic. We don't know what type of message that we want to tell them. So what I do with everybody that I work with is I want to start with this. And this is one thing I'm going to share with you in the workbook as well that you can download. This is an idea of questions that you can ask. This is not a complete list or anything like that, but this just gets you thinking. So you can start asking these questions as you start creating your dream customer based on what you are trying to sell. Who is your perfect customer? Who would you like to see walk through your doors every single day? And that's who you want to talk to. So you want to think about this person. You want to find out, of course, the obvious at the beginning: age, gender, income, where do they live? But then you want to start getting into like what type of clothes do they wear? What favorite music or TV show, group associations. I guarantee you, if you did, if you hypothetically, because it'd be really weird if you did this for real, but if you went up to a complete stranger and asked them all of these questions and they answered these questions truthfully, you would walk away having a pretty good idea who that person is. And so you could start here to write out who your dream customer is and understand what is his likes, what is his dislikes, right? What is his dreams in life? What is he afraid of? And then at the very end, I said, what is their name? So I did one very recently for a company, and we created our dream customer. Her name was Kate. And Kate is 40 years old. She's a lawyer. She's got a husband and 2 kids living at home. She loves her job, and the way she presents herself, she's very professional. The way she presents herself is extremely important. So she goes to the gym and works out on a daily basis. She's always eating healthy and eating right. She's got a lot of skincare products that she's using to keep herself looking really, really good, professional. She goes and buys some of the best clothes at boutiques that she can find and really, really dresses very, very nice. And she really keeps herself looking good. She goes to spas every couple of weeks and just makes sure that she's very, very professional every single day. And she loves her kids. She loves her family very much, and she takes care of them first and foremost. But every single morning, she gets up and she looks in the mirror and she has a problem. And that is she has crooked teeth because she never had a chance to get braces as a kid. Now, as she's older, she knows that braces would fix her teeth, but she assumes it's going to take way too much time and way too much money to be able to do it. After all, her kids are probably going to need great braces pretty soon. And so she doesn't know how to solve that problem. She knows she has a problem, but she doesn't know how to solve it. And so I'm not going to go into any deeper, but the company I'm working with, we came up with a solution to solve that problem. And we're going to tell her about that problem. So whenever we do our messaging, and as we're creating our messaging for this, right, we know exactly who we're talking to. And our goal is to get the audience to relate to this customer. They want to, you want to initiate emotion towards this customer, empathy towards this person. Just like you would in a movie. Whenever you watch a movie, the goal of every filmmaker is to get you to relate with the main character, the main star of that movie. They want to elicit emotion and get you to have empathy and care about that character and kind of put yourself in their shoes. And that's what they want to do, because then you interact and you get yourself into the movie and you can really enjoy it. The same thing is with marketing. And if you can create this character, if you understand who they are, then you have a lot better chance of eliciting emotion to your custom audience, right? Who you want to go to and get them to say, yes, that's the problem that I have. That's what I do. I have these crooked teeth. I care about myself in this way. Here's a solution and I can take care of it. So that is why it's so important to really understand who your dream customer is and building that dream client. So one of the first things I do is always build that dream client. The next thing I do is creating the Godfather offer. All right, so what do I mean by that? Well, we have to create an offer, and I call it the Godfather offer. I call it the Godfather offer because it's an offer you can't refuse. And so I want to create this offer that our target audience, our dream customers, cannot refuse because it is such great value to them. So let me show you what I mean real quick. First thing I want to talk about is hope marketing. This is what most businesses do with their marketing, is they do hope marketing. Hope marketing is sending a potential customer or client to their website, and then they hope they do what we want them to do. I'm going to explain to you what I mean. So I'm going to give you a couple examples. All right, here's two. These are fictitious companies. I made them up. Guitar World versus Guitar Land. Guitar World is going to do this through hope marketing, what many of us do with our marketing. Guitar Land is going to be the Godfather offer. So let me get out of this real quick, get out of my shared screen. So let's start with our first one, Guitar World. Okay, so Guitar World, this is what hope marketing is. All right, first what they do is they create their ad. Right, they tell everybody, hey, come down to Guitar World. We've got the best guitars in the city, and we like to come down and buy our guitar. And so they have Guitar World, been in business since 1927, have the best customer service. And somebody clicks on it, and what do? They lead them to their website. So on their website, the basic website up here, you've got, here's some information. Right here, here's everything at the little drop-down menu there. Here's everything that we have to offer. Over here is, contact us, right? And then they might have some pictures here and some information down here. Your basic website, right? Well, what happens is we are sending them to this website, and we are hoping they do what we want them to do. And what this is like, to put this in a real world scenario, this is exactly what it's like. Excuse me. This is exactly what it's like. It is like walking into a Verizon store, but instead of having a sales rep come up to you and say, hey, how can I help you today? Instead of that, you have nobody in the store, and all the phones are just lined up against the wall with a thick brochure next to every single phone telling you about everything that phone has to offer. And then instead of there being somebody at the front desk, you see a desk there and it just says, contact us. How well do you think that Verizon store is going to do? It's not going to do well, right? But we do it all the time with our websites. We create these traps in our website where we are losing customers all the time. And so what they're happening is they're coming to the website and they're leaving. They're coming and they're leaving. And they're coming and they're bouncing off our website. I look at bounce rates on websites, and most of them are upwards of 90%. Because we're throwing all this information at them and we're not guiding anything. So we're confusing them with our websites. And one of my favorite marketers named Donald Miller, he has a book and a company called StoryBrand. You can check them out. He's great to learn from. But one thing that he talks about is if you confuse, you lose. When you confuse your customers, you're losing them all the time. And we do that with our websites. We do that with hope marketing. And once they leave, to get them back, we got to spend more money with ads to try to bring them back, only for many of them to bounce again. A couple of them will stay, a couple of them will buy, right? But most of them, 95% of them are going to come to your website, they're not going to do anything, and they're going to leave. And we have to pay to get them back. So that is Guitar World. They're doing hope marketing. All right, so let me erase this real quick. And let's look at Guitar Land. Guitar Land says, I'm going to do things differently. Guitar Land says, instead of leading people to my website, I'm going to lead them to a landing page. Okay? And I'm going to make them what I call, right, the Godfather offer. An offer they can't refuse based on their target market. So they're going to say, I'm going to teach you, let's just say teach. I'm going to teach you how to play Stairway to Heaven for free for the next 2 weeks. And they make this offer in exchange for your information. They're going to make a bargaining chip is what they're going to do. They're going to offer something of value, of great value to their target audience for their information. they're going to make that bargain. So the better you understand who your dream customer is, the better you can do at this with your message. With Guitar World or with Guitar Land, what they want is they want to try to get, with this type of ad, they're trying to get people who are just starting to learn the guitar. They're trying to get them very, very early in the process so they can sell them guitars. And so they're going to run an ad, and they're going to tell them, hey, we're going to teach you how to play Stairway to Heaven for free if you come to our website. We're going to lead them to a landing page, and you're going to have a much higher closing ratio when you do that, and you're going to get a customer in the end of it once you get their info. And so there's a few that are going to bounce, but more than anything, you're going to get more and more leads out of this, and they're going to be qualified leads because you're going after new guitar players so that you can sell them guitars and other products related to guitars down the road. So this is a perfect one. You're giving them something of value that's specific to what your company offers. Like I said before, a bad way to do this is say, hey, here's a free, the Guitar Land says, hey, I'm going to give you a free trip to Hawaii for the weekend if you sign up. They may get thousands of people to sign up, but how many of them actually want to play a guitar? Very little to none of them. And so they're just wasting time doing that, and they're wasting all this money sending somebody to Hawaii who has no interest in guitars. So that's why there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do this. So we want to be able to create this bargaining chip in exchange for their information. So let me go back. Let's go back to my slides. Here we go. All right, so that's guitar. So that's Hope Marketing versus the Godfather offer. The Godfather offer is much a better way to do it. And so once you create this, you'll be able to collect as many names as you possibly can. And let me kind of come back out here today. And we'll be able to create that offer to lead in people. So let me give you one example here. I'm going to escape out of this. Here's a Godfather offer that I created, a very simple, straightforward one that I created for a company called Soothe, all right, for CBD. And I built this out for these guys who are supplying this. And I have a video here that tells them about CBD and what it is and all of that stuff. And then we created this offer. Get your first 30 days supply for free. Very simple, very straightforward. And they get people to fill out their information, and they can send a sample of their CBD to them, and then they can use it for a month, get used to it, and then they can continue to buy it after that. And that's a very simple idea of a Godfather offer. And so what I want to do with you guys is next week, what we're going to do is we are going to focus on building how to build that Godfather offer, what we need to do, and how we brainstorm through that. How do we create this offer? Because a lot of people look at their businesses and they say, okay, well, I sell one thing, or my business is very basic, or maybe it's way too complicated. There's no way. I don't have a Godfather offer that I can make. And I want to promise you, there is one. You have to get creative. Sometimes you have to make stuff up. Sometimes you have to think outside the box. But every single business I've worked for, from hot tub companies to eye care to orthodontics to construction, every company I've worked with, I've been able to find a Godfather offer, something they never thought they could offer before, but we were able to create it. So I promise you, you're going to be able to create an offer. You just have to brainstorm and think. And I'm going to teach you the system next week of what you need to go through in order to think through that, create this offer, and then start to build on that. And then we're going to build that out. So that is what I'm going to teach next week. But for this week, on the members page, under this video, you're going to be able to, I have the workbook, lesson 1 workbook on there, and you just go through, just like I showed you under finding your dream client. What I want you to do is start thinking about who your dream client is based on your core offer. What is your main thing that you sell? What's the main part of your business? And I want you to start to work through and see who your perfect client is. Answer those questions, and then you write out a story. I put a little space in there so you're able to create a story, just like John Dumas did for his guy, or we did with our Kate. We can tell that story of the type of person they are, what kind of family, what they're dealing with. We're going to be able to do that, and write that out to give you a better idea. So that is your one task for the week. Of course, after watching this and getting used to that. So, and then after that, we're going to build the offer next week. Just a reminder, if you haven't yet, I'll have the link on my next email, and I've got links on previous emails. Make sure you click that link, sign into the membership area to be able to get all this information. And then Tuesday, I'm going to have my marketing morning at Scenic Brew Coffee at 7:30 a.m. And if you want to sit down with me and work with me on this and talk about your dream customer and do it together, just show up 7:30 to 8:30 on Tuesday morning, and I will share that with you. And we'll work through that together on a one-on-one basis, or if a few of you show up on whoever's there, we'll talk about it together and kind of grow this business together. So I really hope to see you guys Tuesday morning. I hope those who couldn't make to the live meeting, you can watch this video, and I will talk with you guys next week. All right, thanks, and have a great rest of your night.